Hi everyone, this is Tyler Glugendiamond from your Arts and Crafts Specialist from Silver Lake Summer Staff 2019, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an Easter Bunny party hat for Easter. So for this activity, you'll need a pencil, a ruler, a Sharpie or other permanent marker, some ribbon or elastic or string, whatever you have, a good pair of scissors, some construction paper or a white piece of paper for the body. The thicker the better. I'll be using some cardstock and some construction paper, some glue, some tape, and that's about it. So we're gonna get started. So for our first step, we're going to be making the body of our bunny, which is the white cone part that you can see in the center. So for this step, you'll need your pencil, your ruler, your pair of scissors, and your white construction paper or cardstock or whatever type of paper you're using. Now for this step, I'm going to be showing you how to draw the template. So you're going to do a little bit of a curve here, which is going to be the top cone of the hat, and then you're going to take your ruler and you'll be doing lines that kind of come out on an angle like this. And the size of the hat up here, I made those lines 8 inches long. So if you want to do a little bigger, you can just make it a little longer than 8 inches. If you want to do it a little smaller, you can do that as well, for whatever you'd like. So you're gonna do another line on the other side, and it's gonna be a little further out like this. And make sure that when you come back in, you do a second line so that you know where to tape over and that you have a little bit of an overlap to glue and tape on. So now what you're going to do is you're going to connect this line here and this line here by making a long kind of arcing curve, which is going to kind of serve as the brim of your party hat. So that's just gonna come down like this. Don't worry about making it perfect because you're going to be cutting it out with some scissors in a second, so it will be a solid line no matter how kind of scribbly or crooked your curve ends up being. So now we're going to cut this part out, and you can just go right around. Don't worry about cutting along this line. That line is just there to kind of mark where the overlap is going to be. So you're going to cut out with your scissors. And then in a second, we're gonna fold it over and use the tape to make it stick together. So if you see at the back of my hat right here, that's where it'll be stuck together, and that's gonna be the back of your party hat. So we're just gonna keep cutting it out. So at this point, you should have the shape of your hat, which is going to be like this after cutting it out. You'll have a little bit cut out at the top and a curve at the bottom, as well as your overlap over here to show where to put the tape. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a long piece of tape, and you're going to lay it so it's half on, half off this edge over here. That will just make it a lot easier when you roll it around because then you can stick it right on without having to reach your hand inside the hat. So once you bring it around, you're just gonna fold it around like that, like a burrito or something like a tortilla. And then it should stick right on inside, and you can pinch your fingers together on the outside and the inside to make it stick together. See, just like that. So now you'll have a cone shape like this, as well as a brim in the back, and then you're going to be able to move on to the next step, which is where we're going to assemble our ears. So for this next step, we're going to be assembling our ears and cutting them out. So for this step, you'll need your pencil, your ruler, some scissors, and some tape. Now, before we get started with this step, I'm gonna ask your parents or your guardian to help you out with this part here. So what we need to do is take some scissors or a paring knife and just cut a little slit here. That's where we're gonna put our ears through. You can see them here on my hat up here. And this should be about 1 inch long, but if it's a little over or a little under, that's okay too. So to make our ears, we're going to essentially make this kind of leaf shape here with a rounded tip, if you want to look at the paper that I have cut out where my ears came from originally. And we're going to add a little tab down here, which is going to go through the slit. So this one, my ear was a little over 1 inch, so I'm going to measure that out with my ruler. And I'm going to kind of make a little box shape right here, and that's going to serve as the tab where my ear is going to go. Now, it's all right to just freehand this next part because every ear is kind of be a little different. So we're gonna make a little kind of curve coming out here, and that's gonna go right up there. And then same for the other side as well. Your ears can be as long as they want, as short as they want, because all your bunnies are gonna be unique, so however you wanna make it, you're welcome to. Now we're gonna do that same thing again for a second ear, and once we have those traced out, we're gonna cut them out with our scissors. So like I said, you can round the ends a bit to make them a little more friendly and a little less pointy. And now we're gonna just go ahead and cut those out. So at this point, you should have your ears cut out and ready to go. This is a fun opportunity to get creative with it. If you don't have construction paper, don't be afraid to upcycle something, like a cereal box, or choose another color or bedazzle with something like a pattern, or whatever you want to do with it. So what you're going to be doing with your ears is you're going to be putting the tab that you created through the strip that was created in the side of the bunny. And once you get that in, you can kind of adjust where you want it to be. So that's going to go there, and then this one's going to go like this on the other side, so that you have it like this. Now what you can do next is you're going to take a piece of tape. It can be small, doesn't need to be anything crazy. And you're going to go up and you're going to just stick the tabs down on the inside of the hat so the ears don't fly around too much. This is just an extra precaution. The ears should stay in place on their own, but just in case you're wearing it outside like I am right now, you don't want the ears to fly off. So you're just going to stick the other one down and in. And now you have your ears. So in this next step, we're going to be cutting out the pieces that we'll use for our face. Now for the whiskers, what you're going to do, unless you have something else on hand that you'd like to use, like a pipe cleaner or something, I just happen to have some paper around. So you're going to be cutting long, thin strips, just along the edge. You don't have to worry about tracing it out, but you're just going to cut some long, thin strips off the side of the paper, and you're going to go to 2 extra long ones. That way you're not worrying about gluing down 4 separate pieces, and it's just 2 ones, and the cross section is going to be hidden by the nose. So once you have your 2 things, you're going to have them like this, and we're going to move on to cutting out the nose. Now the nose is going to be the shape of an upside down heart. So what you're going to do is you can cut out just a heart shape itself. It can be as big as small as you want, any color you want, whatever you have on hand or whatever you want to use, you're welcome to. So you're going to cut out that heart shape, and it's just going to be something like this. Now for our eyes, again, use whatever color you want, and you have 2 options here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting out 2 circles to glue on for the eyes, or you can just draw them right on with your permanent marker or any other colored markers that you have. It's your choice. What I'm going to be showing you here is cutting them out. So what you're going to be doing is cutting out 2 circles. Again, as big as or as small as you want, any color you want, any pattern, it's up to you. You are the artist here. So that's 1. And then you can have the other one be the same size, be its own eye, whatever you want to do. Your bunny could have 3 eyes, it's really up to you. You can make that choice yourself. And now you have your 2 eyes. So at this point, you should have 2 long cross sections for the whiskers, 1 upside down heart shape for the nose, and 2 eyes. So now what we're going to be doing as our last step is we're going to be adding the pieces that we cut out for the face onto our bunny, and they're going to be drawing the mouth and some freckles or whatever else you'd like to add. You can detail the ears, you can detail the nose, whatever else you want to detail, it's up to you. So what we're first going to be doing is we're going to be adding dollops of our glue to the back of our eyes, and then we're going to be sticking them on one by one. Now don't worry, because Elmer's glue dries clear, as with most glues, so if you get a little messy with it, it should be alright in the end. So you're going to stick them on right about there at the top, and do the same with the other one, a little on the opposite side. The wind is really working against us today. Alright. So now I have your eyes on, and it'll look like that. Alright, so for this next step, now that we have the eyes on our bunny, we're going to be adding the nose and the 2 whiskers. So what you can do is you're going to add a dollop of glue to the back side of the nose, and you can put the whiskers going in a cross pattern, like a railroad crossing sign or something else, like an X, along the back. And you're just going to stick that right on like this, between and a little bit underneath the eyes. Then you'll have a face like that, and you can take your permanent marker, and you're going to draw the mouth for the bunny. So it's going to go something like this. So it's going to come down, and then go out. And the same thing on the other side, down and out. And add some freckles, which are just kind of little polka dots in the corners or the cheeks of the bunny. And voila. And then, so what I'm going to do, because I like to do this, you can detail wherever you want, the ears, the body, whatever, but I like to add a little bit of detail to the eyes itself. So I'm going to do kind of like pupils that make the bunny look like it's looking up and away a little bit. And the same thing on the other eye. And there we go, we have our bunny. The next step, and the last step, is going to be adding the ribbon to kind of keep it on your head. So for this last step, we're going to be adding the ribbon or the headband to our bunny to make it stay in place. Now it's important that you measure whoever's head this is going to be going around, and it's good to always have a little bit of extra because you can always do a little clip or kind of tuck it up and in and tape it down to make it shorter, but you can't add more string or ribbon or whatever you're using after you add it in. So once you have your piece of ribbon, you're going to take 2 little pieces of tape and you're going to stick it on opposite sides of the bunny on the inside, like this. One there, and then you're going to take a piece of tape for the other side. Like that. And now you have your Easter Bunny party hat. Great job, guys!